Building upon our prior discussions of taxation, property classifications, and the responsibilities of licensees to communicate accurate information, this module shifts focus to a key environmental and regulatory area that directly impacts Arizona's real estate market: groundwater law. Arizona's water regulation system is among the most advanced in the United States, designed to balance population growth with finite water resources. Understanding which department regulates groundwater, the scope of its authority, and how it interacts with real estate transactions is fundamental for real estate professionals who must act with reasonable skill and care. The primary agency responsible for administering and enforcing groundwater law in Arizona is the Arizona Department of Water Resources, ADWR. Established in 1980 under the Arizona Groundwater Management Act, GMA, ADWR was created in response to decades of aquifer depletion caused by unregulated pumping. The agency's role is to manage the state's water supply by issuing permits, monitoring groundwater withdrawal, and enforcing water conservation programs within designated active management areas, AMAs, and irrigation non-expansion areas, INAs. The Groundwater Management Act, ARS, paragraph 45401 et SEQ, serves as the foundation of Arizona's modern water policy. This landmark legislation divided the state into regulatory zones, such as the Phoenix, Tucson, Prescott, Pinal, and Santa Cruz AMAs, where groundwater use is carefully controlled to promote sustainability. Within these zones, ADWR regulates well drilling, limits new irrigation, and requires proof of assured water supply, AWS, before approving new subdivisions. This AWS program ensures that developers demonstrate access to a 100-year renewable water supply before selling lots, as mandated under ARS, paragraph 45,576. In practice, ADWR's oversight directly intersects with real estate law and disclosure obligations. Licensees have a duty to disclose any material fact affecting a property's value or usability, including water source, well type, and any limitations imposed by state regulation. For example, if a subdivision lies within an active management area but lacks a current assured water supply designation, a licensee must disclose this to the buyer. Failure to do so could lead to disciplinary action by the Arizona Department of Real Estate, ADRE, for failure to communicate a material facts. Consider a practical example. A buyer is interested in a 10-acre parcel near Casa Grande for residential development. The parcel is located within the Pinal AMA. Before purchasing, the buyer's agent verifies with ADWR whether the parcel has an existing groundwater right and whether the land qualifies for a new well permit. Upon discovering that the area has strict pumping restrictions due to overdraft conditions, the agent informs the buyer and recommends consultation with ADWR or a water rights attorney. This action fulfills the agent's legal obligation to act competently and communicate all material facts regarding groundwater availability. In another case, a developer proposing a 200-home subdivision in Maricopa County must apply to ADWR for an assured water supply certificate. Without ADWR approval, the developer cannot obtain a public report from ADRI or legally market lots to the public. This example illustrates how ADWR's authority over water resource management is intertwined with real estate development and consumer protection. ADWR also plays an important role in water conservation, drought management, and long-term planning. The agency coordinates with the Central Arizona Project, CAP, which transports Colorado River water to major cities and agricultural users, and with the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, ADQ, which oversees water quality and pollution control. These agencies operate under separate statutes, but share a unified mission of preserving Arizona's water resources for future generations. Review summary. The Arizona Department of Water Resources, ADWR, is the state's primary agency regulating groundwater. Established under the 1980 Groundwater Management Act, ADWR ensures responsible water use through permit systems, conservation programs, and the assured water supply requirements for new subdivisions. Real estate licensees must understand how ADWR's regulations impact property use, development feasibility, and disclosure requirements. Recognizing ADWR's authority reinforces a licensee's ability to act with competence, accuracy, and professional diligence in transactions involving water resources. Discussion prompts. Why is the Arizona Department of Water Resources considered one of the most important regulatory bodies for real estate professionals? Answer: because it controls groundwater access, subdivision approval, and sustainability measures that directly affect land use and property value. How does ADWR's Assured Water Supply Program impact developers and homebuyers? Answer: it ensures that any new subdivision in an active management area demonstrates access to a 100-year water supply before lots can be sold, protecting consumers from future shortages. Why must a licensee verify groundwater information during a land sale? Answer: because water availability and rights are material facts that can significantly affect property usability and value. Closing remarks. Groundwater regulation is the backbone of sustainable development in Arizona. The creation of ADWR under the Groundwater Management Act represents the state's proactive response to decades of overuse. For real estate professionals, understanding ADWR's role ensures compliance, builds client trust, and strengthens Arizona's ongoing commitment to responsible water management. As population growth and drought continue to challenge the Southwest, informed licensees will remain essential to guiding transactions that respect both property rights and environmental realities.